My name is Winston Wellington, and I'm chairman of Negro Education Environment Trust. Over the years, traveling through sub-Saharan Africa, Haiti, and see poverty at its worst state, I came back and I said I had to do something because I remember my early beginning. So I started this organization called Negro Education Environment Trust in 2003. When I look around, living in New York City for some 30 odd years, 40 years, I've seen what the restaurants throw away in New York City. And I'm saying, what if what the restaurant threw away could feed half the Caribbean and perhaps part of Africa? But anyway, foods are perishable items. And in my travels, jogging in New York City, I'd see brand new books in the garbage. And I know what a premium they are when I go to Africa or Haiti. People ask me for magazine books and all that. So I started gathering books in my garage. And I used to live in Freeport, Long Island. I gather books in my garage, in my office in Brooklyn, until we have stacks and stacks. Then when the books started going low, there was one of my guests who stayed there, a former teacher from Denver, Colorado. She stayed in one of those cabins right over there. And she was able to convince Federal Express to ship approximately 1 million books over a period of 18 months period right to my doorstep, and I was able to use those books to give to the libraries and the schools around. When that situation when Federal Express could not do it anymore because of budget problems, I started again asking my friends and colleagues around. I've been fortunate enough to have connection with many radio stations in the United States. I go, especially in New York, I go on the radio stations and I appeal to New Yorkers. You give me your used books, your used computers, and that's how it started. I got hooked up with a good friend of mine. He has a shipping company called N.e.e.t Shipping, and Dennis ships every book and every computer for me free of cost from both of his offices in Brooklyn and in the Bronx. And that has allowed me to expand the program. Most of the things I do, I don't do it by myself. I've been very, very fortunate to have many friends, and through the hotel, we've done a lot of networking. There are people from all over the world who comes here. Right now, I have a couple from Canada who is sponsoring 2 children from the school in which I'm chairman of, which is St. Paul's Primary. And they've been sponsoring those children from kindergarten all the way up to college level, in which they are heading for college at this moment. So my guest has been just absolutely wonderful. I mean, the guest here at Travellers Beach Resort, in terms of giving back, in terms of knowing about our program and getting aboard. Just a week before last and last week, there were 2 different sets of Canadians that came here, and they came with suitcases of books and pencils and crayons and pens and all that. And this has been my story of people just joining forces, seeing the need. Of course, my goal, or what we're trying to do, is we're trying to fight crime through education by getting the youngsters off the street, by making sure that they're computer literate. Right here at our office in the lobby, we have computer classes in which so far we've graduated over 100 teachers, over 100 police officers, and every one of those teachers and police officers, on graduation, we get a computer to take home as part of our Each One Teach One program, because that is one of the themes that we use. My goal is to saturate our country with technology in terms of educating. We also teach computer repair classes in that same office in the lobby. And we've graduated some 15 youngsters who normally would be at risk in the streets, and have graduated from computer class, and they're able to build a computer from scratch. We've also, over the years, graduated a lot of young ladies who are at risk to go into some illicit trades. We've also graduated from computer class, and they've gotten their computers as well as part of our Each One Teach One program. So hence our program has been expanding. Every year during our spring break, we have Cultural Day right here at Travellers Beach Resort, where we bring in children from different schools, and they perform in front of the spring breakers, and the spring breakers would then buy a block, a building block, by writing their names on a building block, and we use those blocks to build libraries and so forth, canteens. And we have such famous people who have passed through and bought a block, such as Ziggy Marley, Shaggy, Lady Saw, you name it, all of them, Tiffany, all of those have passed through here, and their names are on some of those blocks we see down there. And we've had the Congress lady from the United States who passed through, bought a block and put her name. And these blocks, as you can see, we've used them to build libraries around. My latest project is that there's no hospital in Negril, and I'd like to build a hospital for Negril. I'm negotiating with the government as we speak to come aboard, and they've originally gave me 48 acres, but 2 weeks ago I went to visit the land, and it was absolutely no good. It was on a mountainside, so they're at this moment looking around to find me something else very close to Negril so I can make this happen. I have a partnership with doctors from Harvard, American Management Group out of Harvard University, and they have say they will build and run the hospital for me for 10 years, then turn it over to us, so they are aboard. I have doctors from the University of the West Indies, I have the Caribbean Medical Mission, I have a whole host of people, so we're moving along and trying to make this program. Once I get the land, in 3 years' time, we'll have a hospital built, and we'll employ over 2,500 persons as part of the work. So those are some of the things that we do to help our organization, and of course with the help of a lot of generous people, we've been moving in that direction to make things better.